Oh, maybe I should stop the music. Oh my gosh, struggle streaming already. Hello, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. I'd like to welcome you back to the Wives Club. The Wives Club was started in 2021 when I booked a session with the late, great Kevin Samuels, and it wasn't for me. I am happily average. It was because I felt convicted every time he said, "Where are the older women to teach the young?" So that's what we do here every week. We take one of Kevin Samuel's episodes and we respond to it from our perspective as former, future, and current wives. So I'm Maggie. I've got a cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. I'll be traveling tomorrow, so that's why we're here today. And Lucy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Maggie. Hi, all. I'm Lucy. I have a channel that used to be mostly to teach Spanish, basic Spanish to maybe midpoint to advanced. But now, this year, I decided to change the content to make it more uh, available for women after a certain age, and it's going to have topics about femininity, elegance, and some of the issues that impact women after a certain age because as women, our bodies change and hormones change and the estrogen goes down and everything kind of gets impacted. And you know how, as emotional as we are, some of those hormonal changes also impact the way we feel things, we see things, we behave uh, after things. So again, my channel right now, it's sharing content about issues for women after a certain age.
I absolutely love that. And it's so important because I remember Kevin for so many things, but one of the questions I always remember him asking is, what do you want life to look like when you're 40, when you're 50, when you're 60? And ladies, we will all get there. I am 48, Lucy's 57, so we remember our younger years, and we want to make sure that you also grow, uh, age gracefully, and look forward to the life that you're creating for yourself. Okay, so you all see the title. We are going to be reviewing an episode. Let me turn this down here. Y'all know me, I have my clips. And this one is British Woman Gets Lesson in Assortative Mating or Assortative Mating. I hadn't heard that word before, but we're going to break it down. We're going to go through our takeaways from the episode, and then, as always, you all can chime in and let us know what you think. All right, so let me give you a little bit of a recap. If you haven't seen this episode, it's only about 20 minutes. I always put the Kevin Samuels episode in the description, so I encourage you to watch it. Excuse me, if you haven't already. So, this was a woman who called in, and she was 29, and she was British. Excuse me, she was African American from the UK. She had worked for 4 years as a flight attendant. I think she called it air hostess, but traveling the world as a flight attendant. That job has ended, and so now she's approaching 30 and she's interested in relationship and calling Kevin for advice because she started off the call saying she wanted a high value man. Oh boy. And we begin. So, one of the first takeaways for me was he asked her, why? Why do you want a high value man? And, Kevin Samuels was not the one to coin that phrase, but he definitely, gave it some life. And the long and short of it is, it's almost like, we have that dream car or that dream house and we just want it because we want it. We don't really know why. We don't really know what it costs to maintain it. We don't know everything that's involved. We just want it. And so he started kind of peeling back the layers to help her understand not everybody needs that. Not everybody really wants that once you know it's involved, and not everybody qualifies for that. But that's actually good news, ladies, because those of us that are average, should associate ourselves with the average men that we are around, because there's no guarantees. We don't know what they're going to end up being in life, but you can actually have a very happy, simple life if you choose from the pool where you belong. That was one of my first takeaways, Lucy. What about you?
One of my first takeaways is I'm very good at maybe putting myself in somebody's position. And when she called in, I try to put myself as a man. As a man, when I hear a woman 4.5 years traveling the world as a flight attendant, to me, that sounds to me that she has seen a lot. As a man, I'm thinking that would be uh, kind of a warning sign that she may have already experienced the world and have seen life in a different way than if they were dating someone that was not 29 and that had not traveled the world for 4.5 years.
Such a good point. One of the other things that I had here is that he asked her, okay, in the 4 years that you were a flight attendant, I'm sure you met men that were eligible, that you were around, that you had access to. What about any of them? And she said something that I hear very often because I do coaching with women in group and one on one. And her answer was something like, well, I never put any effort in. I never really tried. I was just kind of focused on my job. I didn't really put any effort into meeting someone. Ladies, that is a huge missed opportunity. Back in the past, women would go to college for that MRS degree, and we can kind of laugh about it, but Kevin often said this in his shows. Your college years and early years, maybe of working when everybody's still trying to, figure out who they want to be when they grow up, that is probably going to be one of the few times in your life that you're going to have access to an abundance of suitable men. And I see this a lot with women. Either they don't take advantage of the college years or the graduate school years, or the associations or anything that they're in. They're just focused on doing whatever, I don't know, but they're not prioritizing relationship. And then life passes them by. People end up getting, coupled up, and then you're 30 plus, and you're kind of like, ooh, now what do I do? And I don't want to say that ship has sailed, but it's definitely going to be harder because you're going to be looking for something that's already, pretty much out of the dating market. And so I really would implore young women, or if you're in college, like Kevin used to say, do both at the same time. You need to be able to, if you're going to go the career path or, education path, make sure you prioritize relationship, because that's the time that you're going to have the biggest picking, because the kind of men that you want aren't going to be around forever. What would you add, Lucy?
She also stated that she was based in Dubai. So again, she has been around high value everything, because from what I see, I've never been in Dubai. I'm not interested to ever going to Dubai. But what I see, it seems that everything is top, everything very costly. It requires a lot of money to live in that environment. So she has been exposed to those high value men that she probably missed out on, thinking that, as she was climbing that elevator, there's that elevator story about the woman going to the first, nah, second floor, it's okay, third floor. She gets to the top elevator, there was no way down. And that's the analogy that we see on these older women wanting to get the best, but not realizing that the higher the age goes, the less they're going to be able to go down on that elevator. So if you get to the age of 29 and you haven't found your high value man, even though you've been exposed to those, that it gives an opportunity to pause and say, what is going on? And again, if those high value men see that you've been in that environment, they're also going to ask, what is going on over here? Why has she not been claimed by other high value men?
Oh my goodness, such a good point. And I'm glad you brought this one up, Lucy, because it's true. Ladies, this one's probably going to be a little hard to hear, but one of the quotes that I had that Kevin said, if the high value man that you want did not approach you in your early to mid 20s, he said 23 to 25, you are not at 30 plus going to just start attracting high value men. That means we all know the type of men that approach us for serious relationships. We can want what we want, but as we get older, just because we want it really bad, if regular working men have tried to establish relationships with us and we turn them away, it doesn't mean that as we get older, that high value man that we've been holding out for is going to approach us. So, he went through the questions that we all know, height, weight, dress size, fresh face out of the shower. And she said something about when I put makeup on, she gave herself a 5, which I say I'm a 5 too. I am average. But she said something about, oh, well, that's without makeup. When I put makeup on, I look a lot different. Ladies, none of these enhancements that we do are going to give you an abundance of points. You're not going to go from a 4 or a 5 to a 9. You may enhance yourself a little bit, but we are who we are. And I think the sooner we realize that, the happier we'll be because we will fish in the pond where we are supposed to fish. So I really like that, like what Lucy said about once we get to 30 and 30 plus, this is another thing that he said that's tough. Men know that by 30, you have been approached by suitable men. A single woman doesn't just go through life and nobody has at least tried to have a relationship with her. So if you have not prioritized it, the man realizes you had an opportunity and for whatever reason, you didn't lock it down. They start thinking other things. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, and I don't know, I had to step away for a little bit. I don't know if you mentioned what he said about the woman at that point, 30 plus, they are they're going that's why they talk about settling. They think, and then the men see it as, okay, so am I your second choice? Am I your last resort? So again, that is very hurtful if you think about a man that's trying to court you, but in the back of the mind he's saying, well, am I the last resort, and that's the reason that she's settling with me. So again, there are so many opportunities to take advantage when you are at the ages where you are the most fertile, you are the most beautiful, you're firm, nice, tight, everything is beautiful, you're glowing because youth, you're young, and that's it, and that's biology, and that's how God has created us to have. There's a time and a place for everything. So if you've missed that opportunity, now the second round that you're going to have, the men are probably not going to be the high value men that you want. And it's okay to look for those that meet more where you are right now. So again, it's really interesting, and the way that Kevin put the situations together in the examples, it was just fascinating to be there. And another thing that I noticed was that she did say that when she called in England, it was, I don't know, it was like really late or early morning. And I remember in the chat, every time I would have people cam up, I would say, ladies, remember, this might be your interview with your high value man. And she shows up with like a unit, like a pajamas, like a leotard, or something that's not wasn't interview friendly. So again, it's those things that you start putting together. Yes, you're calling in at 3 o'clock in the morning over there, but there's thousands of people watching you. And if that high value man is looking for that person, is that who you want to show yourself as?
So many good points there. And ladies, this one is going to be hard to hear, but it's true. And I do want to go back and re-emphasize that point. I see you all in the chat. Next Level says over 30 were probably not your first choice. That was a huge one for me. And Next Level also says, telling the world you've been traveling as a flight attendant, it was work. I will say that there are jobs that give you access, and you should take advantage of that access, ladies, if you want a real relationship. So when Kevin mentioned the second choice, that one really stopped me in my tracks because I think a lot of modern women think, oh, I'll just do what I want. And when I'm ready, I'll go get the man that I want. Not only are you just delaying it, but you don't have the same field to choose from later in life. That was the big takeaway for me. It's not like you just kicked the can down the road. You've shredded the can, and here's why. Kevin said that once you get to 30, all men know you've had an opportunity at relationship. You didn't prioritize it. So you told this guy no, you told this guy no, you told this guy no. So now, I don't want to say you're desperate, but you're at a point where it's like, okay, now I'm ready for a relationship. I want this kind of man. Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for that kind of man. Okay, fine. And she actually said in the interview, well, it's okay. My sister's married to an average man. They have 3 children. She's very happy. I could be happy with that. And he was like, so you want somebody to be your second choice? Ladies, men know that. And that is not okay. For a man, and I am not a man, but a man wants to feel like he is king, like he is the best. I mean, and that is our job as women to let him know. Ego is huge with men. So when you say, all right, fine, I don't get that one, I'll take the next one. The man who is now, the leverage has switched. He's like, I'm not settling for that. So not only have you delayed it, you have reduced your pool. It's going to be harder. So young women, hear me. When you have the opportunity, take advantage of that. And then the other thing that Lucy said, I didn't even have this on my notes, but it was her appearance. And ladies, whether you're average, whether you're, what was it, cute, beautiful, or gorgeous, it doesn't matter. You need to show up in a way that presents yourself well. The internet is forever. Kevin is long gone. His message still lives on, and we're reviewing this. And how difficult is it to make yourself presentable? Even if you just put on a blouse and comb your hair, but to come onto a platform like that when people are going to see you and you're basically saying, I'm in the dating market and I'm looking for a high value man. Do you know what is required? It is a lot. So yes, she missed an opportunity there. But ladies, we don't want you to make these small, silly mistakes. Make sure that, as we say, you stay ready so that you don't have to get ready. And if you can't be ready, then maybe you don't need to dial in. But it's worse to have a bad first impression than to not have one at all. The other thing I wanted to say is that, so she had this job as a flight attendant, and he asked her, did any of the men that you were around, they're traveling, they're in business class, did anybody try to make a pass? Did you flirt with anybody? Did you try? And she was like, yeah, a few of them did. And he said, a few. And it just kind of blew past her. Ladies, We don't have unlimited lives in this video game. So if a man is showing that he's interested and you're interested, you need to prioritize that. We just kind of act like, oh, yeah, I'll get to that later. Tomorrow may never come. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of this with women is that we've become lazy. We'll get around to it when we get around to it. Oh, you're interested? Yeah, today's not a good day. Yeah, I don't really feel like smiling today. And then the man is like, well, she's not interested. When they hold the key to the future that we want, if you want a traditional relationship. So put your best effort, show up. Lucy and I have the finishing school. We can help you with that, but at least try. You never know. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, yes, she said a few of them. And then I'm thinking, a few, you didn't even have one or two that were really hard yes, and to be able to say, let's go on a date, let's go, meet each other and see where this goes. So again, it's really challenging to understand how you have those many opportunities and you said no to all of them, not even one or two, to all of them. And now you're in a situation where you're going to have to uh, compete with younger women with lesser challenges because the younger women have less experience. They look better. Again, they're nicer, firmer. Everything looks young. And biology dictates, that a man is going to choose something that tells them that that person is going to have their healthy children. So again, it's fascinating and it's so sad because she's just one of so many that we see. And hopefully the younger generation starts seeing, wait, this didn't work for them. Let me go back and figure it out how we used to do it in the old times, how all of these women used to be married and got to 70, 80 years old, sitting at the front porch, holding the hand of her husband, rocking back and forth until the day that the Lord sends them an invitation to heaven. So again, we need to get back to teach the younger generation that we're better together, and we help each other together. We just if Life is easier when you have that person next to you motivating you, helping you out on the things that if you were on your own, they become twice as hard.
So true. I see Next Level in the chat, quoting the late great Kevin Samuel saying, ladies, you need to be as pretty as possible. This is so true. So, we want to give you all some tangible things that you can put into place. So, yes, ladies, show up. I say camera ready. No matter what I'm doing, this is my everyday. Some days a little, different here or there, but you want a consistent presence. That's important to men, that consistency. And Kevin told her, you need to be out here flirting. Unfortunately, for a lot of women, yes, I'm going to say, Auntie Maggie says a lot of you are lazy, but the modern world that we live in, women have to give consent. What does that mean? If you walk around and you don't say anything, I like to say closed mouths don't get fed. Men and other people will look at you like, oh, she'll be all right. So if you're single and you don't want to be, you need to let people, men, know that I'm approachable. You can have a conversation with me. I'm pleasant. I'm kind. I'm not going to have a bad reaction if you, actually make eye contact with me. It's really important, ladies, that you do that. You need to look approachable and you need to be consistent with it. It can't be this, well, I'll get on the program when, or, you do this for me and maybe I'll, smile at you at the end of the night. No, that's not going to work. Not for the caliber of man that you want, believe me. The clock is ticking. We're not going to skip to the end and be at the front of the line. We're going to get to the end and be at the back of the line. The other thing that Kevin asked her in this conversation was about her relationship experience. And it wasn't great, ladies. So at 29, her last relationship was long distance, which Kevin said, I don't count that. There's no denying it, ladies. If you're dating someone on the other side, I think she was in the UK. I think she was dating someone in Boston. So a whole nother country away, a whole nother ocean away. It's not a real relationship. It just isn't. You need to be able to go through the day to day with someone, see their routine. When you date someone and your time together is planned, it's perfect. It's like a vacation. We're going somewhere or we're meeting somewhere. I've cleared my schedule. You've cleared your schedule. I'm, dressed to the nines. You're dressed to the nines. That's fun, but that's make believe. That's not sustainable. That's not the real world. Lucy and I have both been married. If you've been in any type of long-term relationship, you know you're going to see someone in their day-to-day. And that's what's really important with men, because they don't just look at you right now. They want to know that they can live with you for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So she had a long-distance relationship. Kevin said, I don't count that. What about before that? Her last real relationship, I think she said she was 22 or 23. She's 29 now. So you mean to tell me for 6 years, you haven't really had a real relationship? What have you been doing? This is where with men, red flags go off. And it's unfortunate, ladies, but their first thoughts are not great thoughts. The other thing is you have not demonstrated that you can be in a real relationship that lasts the test of time. And so these are the things that men look for when they're vetting you. Not just that you can put makeup on and you look cute. What have you done? What have you done consistently? So it's really important to take this seriously. And she realized by the end of the call, whew, I got a lot of work to do. What would you add, Lucy?
Yeah, in the long distance relationships, it's, you're always at your best because you see them once in a while. So you want to be in a situation where you things happen and he wants to see how you take on challenges. Are you going to be screaming, or are you going to shrivel up and not be able to do anything and not take any kind of life challenge? So again, that is not reality. And that's why he said an 8 month long distance is nothing, because you only see, once in a while, and it's, I'm happy when I see you, but everything else, you don't know what happens in a day to day real life situation when you're in a long distance relationship. Um, and then he asked her, after sharing that she had been, the last real relationship she had been in was 6 years ago. He asked, would you say you do relationships well? And then she asked, she answered, I haven't in the past. So again, that's another indication for a possible suitor to say, there's something not connecting. And again, men are problem solvers. They start putting things together, and they start saying, this may not be a a relationship that I want to be getting into, because there's not enough knowledge about how to have a long distance relationship with, with somebody she loves.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to come to the comments. I'm also going to drop the link in case any of you all want to talk to us. You can add to the conversation. You can be camera on or camera off. So again, ladies, the takeaway here, we don't have time to waste. And this is very counterculture to what you're going to hear in modern times. It's like, oh, take all the time that you need. But like Lucy said, men are thinking, they are listening to what you say. More important than that, they're watching what you do. More important than that, they're seeing what your track record is. So it's like a three-dimensional vetting that men are doing. It's not just, oh, she looks pretty in that dress. No, that's not for a man who's considering you for long term. If your relationships have just been because you show up beautiful and you get what you want, I promise you it's not going to be something lasting. So the other thing, like Lucy said, he asked her, it's been 6 years since your last relationship. what have you done to get better? You know, do you do relationships well? And she said no. And so he asked her, what have you done about that? We can all self improve. She did say that she had been to therapy. She sounds like, you know, another one of these women who's like, I'm going back to school, or she took a job, you know, as a flight attendant that was going to take her everywhere. Seemed exciting. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to travel. When he actually asked her, what makes you different from other women? You know, if there's only one of the type of men that you want, and there's 10 women, like Lucy said, there's so many women, what makes you stand out? And ladies, you really want to give that some thought, and give it thought in a way that's beneficial to a man. Because she was like, well, I've traveled the world, you know, I've been a flight attendant, you know, and that's great. I'm sure you've seen some things and have some stories, but you really want to think about how you would distinguish yourself from the next woman that's competing for the same man. Because like Lucy said, we do have to compete. Excuse me. We have to compete consistently. It never ends. But I think that's a good thing. I think it kind of sharpens us and makes us better. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Lucy, we're gonna need some translation here. Thank you, Next Level, for being here. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, we talked about that. Over 30, ladies, a man knows he's not your first love. He knows he's not your first choice. Is it over? No, it's not over. But what that means is this is not the time for you to sit back and say, all right, I've lived my life now. You get what's left over. As an older woman, you have to really overperform and give him a reason to look over all the other younger women that could see him, you know, with stars in their eyes, and really prove that you are here for him. And a lot of older women, we don't want to do that because we're worn out, we're tired. You kind of get, you know, you get what we've got. And yes, I know sometimes the community, where a lot of mothers and older women are not teaching the truth until it's too late. And that's what we're hoping to do here. All right, Lucy, help us out.
KS says, I'm 33 years old and I'm still single.
I don't know if KS is a man or a woman, but
Oh,
Oh,
it's a
it's a
man,
man,
soltero.
soltero.
Remember, Spanish is great because you can totally tell the gender. So he said soltero, it means that it ends with a no. He's single as a man.
I love that. And you know, ladies, it's a tragic irony. We can scream all day and night that it's not fair, but a man at 33 has so much
That's
time.
right.
He's just beginning. He basically has all of the choice. I talk to women that are 33 and they are like, what are we doing? So we can say it's not fair, but I will always say we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. So what does that mean, ladies? We need to expedite when we're younger, because you know what? When you're 21, 22, and 23 at your prime, think of any 21, 22, or 23-year-old young man that you know that now they probably can't, you know, figure out anything. They're still growing, they're still developing. And so, you know, like my man will tell you, just a country boy, you know, a fair is a place where they judge pigs. Life is not fair. All right. So everybody has their advantages at different times. A man will take full advantage when he has built himself. Ladies, you need to take full advantage when you have the most to offer. If you want traditional, if you don't, I know it's not for everybody. All right. What about this one, Lucy?
To know how to dress for the situation that you're on, dress for the occasion.
Yes.
And
And
again,
And
I
ladies,
again, I
think
think
please.
I think that was the part when we were talking about her showing up, you know, in just not in a interview type scenario. She showed up because she wanted to call in, and that's she thought that it was okay to show herself in a onesie. So again, I mean you think about it, and it's like, how do you call in to a show where thousands, maybe millions of people are watching, and you look like a baby.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness. Now, now I have to go back and watch it. I noticed she had a hoodie on, but I didn't know it was like a onesie. Okay, let's talk about this, ladies. That is completely unacceptable. In the finishing school, we give the ladies actual feedback in real time. And one of our students came to one of our sessions and she had on some like cartoon character outfit. You are a young woman now in your 20s. So this woman that's calling into Kevin Samuel's show, forget the fact that she's on, I was about to say national TV, but I'm old. She's on the internet in a onesie. You are 29. This is not age appropriate. And this is something I've had to work on. I am not a style person. I have to hire somebody. But ladies, there's a time when we have to put away the onesies. This is not Halloween. The cartoon characters, you are not a child. You need to make sure that you have a wardrobe and you don't have to spend a lot of money. Y'all know I am Old Navy all day long, but you need to have the type of clothes that represent not only who you are, but who you want to be. So if you want to be taken seriously, you cannot show up in pajamas. You all remember Kevin Samuels was in a suit every single night. Maybe you would see him in a turtleneck or something, but Kevin was always dressed. And I know this because, God rest his soul, the Wives Club started in the Patreon, which was his private group, and he would have meetings for us in the Patreon. He called it the family. He would be in like a tracksuit or like a, casual clothes, a hoodie, and he would wrap up the Patreon meetings and he'd say, "All right, y'all, I'm going to stream, so I need to get myself together." And before he came on YouTube, he was in a Tom Ford head to toe. I'm not saying you got to get a custom suit, but the way we show up and the effort we put into it says a lot about what we think we are, who we think we are, especially if we're going to say I'm a 8, 9, or 10. Like I said, I know I'm average, but I still try to be presentable every day. So I just wanted to rant about the onesie because that is just, that needs to go. That absolutely needs to go. Because ladies, let's say you did have the man of your dreams. He does not want to see you at home in cartoon characters or a onesie. That's not attractive. So you do need to invest in loungewear that is befitting of a woman. That is basic. That is, when I talked about we have become lazy. Ladies, we used to care how our men would see us. Like I put on the dresses and the aprons and whatever he likes, like just simple things to show that I appreciate. Okay, I wanted to rant about the onesie. And honestly, I know Kevin Samuel's streams were late at night for the US East Coast and I guess early morning for the UK. But you know what? If you have an opportunity, you should seize that opportunity because now, she's out there how she looked. I hope she's found real love, but I wanted to share that. I have to go back and look at it. Let's see what else we have, Lucy. Would you add anything?
And it also shows lack of effort, lack of preparation. And again, men are watching. What kind of effort did she put on to be on a stream that, goes live for thousands of people? So again, a man that's looking for a wife wants to know if the woman that they're vetting is going to be able to prepare accordingly. So again, that's another item that she showed that she's not able to look beyond that immediate time that she needed to call in because she wanted feedback. Again, it doesn't take long to get prepared. All she needed to do was, let's say she had the onesie, she could have put a nice shirt over it, some earrings. She didn't even have to wear makeup, but she already looked kind of presentable from the waist up. Again, a lot of these women, like trad guys said, they would call in from their bed, streaming with their cameras on the bed. And that was one of the things that I kept saying. when I would get on the, moderating, I said, why are you calling in laying down in bed like you're almost falling asleep? Laying down. And again, what kind of effort are you showing the world that you're willing to make to meet that special person?
Yeah, such a good point. Shout out to the bonnet can. I would just cringe when I would see that, but I loved what I know like Next Level said that, but also I need to see you on a regular Tuesday is the comment that I was trying to find. But ladies, it's really true. And I want us to do a better job thinking about not only what we're doing in the moment, but how it shows up to the men that we want. Because again, not only are men long term thinkers, but they are applying what you do to what you're going to do for them in all areas. So if you can't be bothered to have a proper appearance, then he's thinking, what kind of effort is she going to take in keeping a clean house? What kind of effort is she going to have in her hygiene? What kind of effort is she going to have with the family budget? What kind of mother is she going to be? And you could say, oh, no, no, I'm just tired. It's midnight. There have been times right before this, I did a group coaching call and I didn't look like this. I had like a little wrap on, no lipstick, no pearls, put a comb through my hair, put some lipstick on, just get myself presentable because it shows respect. And one of the things that I used to cringe, Kevin often used to say, especially to young women, I'm old enough to be your father. And the way that they would just come up there like and talk to him like he was some, childhood friend, it was so disrespectful. So we've beat that horse, ladies. Put some effort into your appearance consistently. Find a routine, a beauty routine or a wardrobe routine that you can do in 5 minutes, because the type of man that you want will be like, hey, I'm taking you here, or hey, we're going here. I need you to be ready. And you don't need to be running around trying to figure out what you're going to do. Next Level says, I need to see you on a regular Tuesday. All right, what about this one, Lucy?
Long distance relationships have make no sense.
Yeah, it's not a real relationship. And I know, people may want to fight me or shout me down, but I would say even people who started long distance, once they close that distance, you're starting over because you're really getting to see that person now. You think you knew them, but it's like, ooh, okay, this is how you handle things when you are upset. Oh, this is the relationship you have with your family. Oh, this is the type of way that you grocery shop or you don't grocery shop, you eat out every meal. There's just so many things, ladies, that long distance doesn't reveal. All right, what about this one, Lucy?
Maybe the older women want something casual, not. I'm thinking that I don't remember which part that 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 was on, but yeah, a lot of these older women are looking for casual relationships, they say, but then feelings get involved, and then they want to make that casual relationship into something more serious, where the guy said, "Hey, we knew at the beginning that this was going to be casual. See ya." So again, it's part of that delusion or that justification that a lot of us women, all women, we all do it. We justify some of our behavior, but then the consequences are the same. You say that it's casual, then as women, there's no casual relationship. If you're going to have some type of intimacy involved, feelings are going to get in the middle, and that's where things become an issue. And yeah, they wanted something casual. Later on, they're going to want a relationship, and the guy's going to say, no, we agreed that it was going to be casual. See you later.
That is so true. We need to have a biology lesson and just speak plainly, ladies. We are not built for that. We are not built to go from man to man to man and just, whatever happens. And this is the problem with this, modern society thinking we're genderless. We're just two humans. Men and women are built different. Men and women are designed different. Like I always say, we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. And I think our differences are beautiful. I'm still trying to understand how men are how they are. But I realize that as a woman, I will never understand. And that's okay. So instead of torturing myself to try to understand, well, why isn't and why can't, I accept it and I focus on what I can control. What you often see, the women who say, oh, I don't want a relationship, I just want something casual. Like Lucy said, give it time. These women, as they get older, they start to realize, man, all of these men, like they were just here for my body. Like nobody was emotionally invested, didn't care if I was sick, didn't care if I was okay during the pandemic, didn't care. They were just here. And yes, a man will a man will participate in what you allow. It's just what it is. And it doesn't make him a bad person. That's just who men are. Now, one of the things that is really, really sad for me is when women who, may get into that type of behavior as a profession, and then they think, oh yeah, I can do everything a man can do. They really mentally are kind of messed up from it because they get to a point where they realize man after man after man after man, and nobody really cared anything about me. So, ladies, I'll just say this. If you think you're going to want a relationship, I would advise you to focus on that and have all those experiences with your man. I asked my man an interesting question. I said, is it just the body count or is it the number of bodies? And the way he explained it to me is because we women want relationship, and whether we admit it or not, when we share that with someone, we are going to want more. There are physiological things that happen that make us want to connect with that person. And so when that relationship is just severed, whether it was a one night stand or you all were just friends with benefits or whatever, there's a damage there. There's a trauma there. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a little piece of you that's broken because we were not built to withstand just that together apart, together apart, together apart. So imagine, let's say me, I'm a divorcee, but 10 years of marriage, I've had all those experiences with my husband, or a woman who was single for 10 years, or this flight attendant who was single for like 6 years, and who knows what experiences she's had, hoping that it would turn into something. Whether she realizes it or not, she is not relationship ready. And that's where the damage comes from. So, ladies, you can prevent that and save some things for your husband. That's what I would say. What would you add, Lucy?
It's funny you mentioned that because I was just before we got on here, I was watching this video about an ex adult video maker. Her name, I don't know if she's even alive. Her name is Vanessa Del Rio. And she warned women back in the 70s or 80s that that was not a life that anybody wanted. And this is applicable to all these young ladies thinking that they're going to spend their 20s doing the only fools thing, and and they think that after they're 30 and their bodies are a little less firm, they are going to get their high value man. It's not going to happen. I am telling you, ladies, it's not. You may wish it, you may desire it with all your heart, but biology and men are repulsed by even thinking that they're beautiful women that they plan on marrying or having the children would be involved in any kind of uh, behavior like that. So again, it's just so sad.
So heed the warning. Lucy has told you don't be on Only Fools. I absolutely love that. And yes, I see the comment, Trad Guy. Women would call in lying in bed just lazy, lazy. And we say lazy daters. I'm just going to say lazy across the board. So, ladies, you can fix this because if you show up that way, men are going to think you're going to be lazy in other areas. And then you're going to have to be, oh no, I'm really not. What about this one, Lucy?
If I'm in a what is it, car mechanic garage? I don't know, like a workshop for cars. I dress accordingly. If I go to an interview, I also dress according to that situation. Again, it's you dress according to what the situation calls.
All right, so we have Pablo here coming in on your channel saying not everyone is okay with things being totally casual because at some point you want value for your time and investment. I don't know if this is a man or a woman. I can't really tell. Do you know?
It's a man, Pablo, Spicy Pablo.
I love that name, Pablo Picante. I should have been paying attention. Yeah, absolutely. And ladies, I know men are built differently, but men do want relationship. My man will tell you, I think men want relationship. He told me today, I think men want relationship and actually love more than women. Don't shout me down. But if you think about it, true love is sacrifice. True love is giving. True love is making sure that everything you do is in service and for the one that you love. So, considering that, ladies, who loves more, men or women? Hey. All right, what about this one, Lucy?
Some women get married to an older person, and that is not good. I'm thinking that maybe he's talking about like the Anna Nicole Smiths uh, marrying a very, very, very old man. I'm thinking, I don't know. Sometimes these comments, I'm not sure where he's taking them, but I'm thinking that that's when he talks about with a person that's older than they are.
Yes, I mean, we've talked about age gap dating before, and men just take a little bit longer. My ex-husband, Lucy's husband, are, a few years older, but then there's like a lot older. It all comes with, there's, you know, different perspectives for that. Next level says we imprint on each other. I think so too. I think, I was talking to someone very important um, in this space, and he said, we really only have one bite at the apple, maybe two if you're lucky. We don't really have unlimited lives as women. Men will settle, if you will, and find someone to get on their program. But when you actually have that real love and that real bond, it's so rare. I would encourage you to run like the wind and never let go. Gilly says it's hard to find the one, even as a normal woman, let alone with all that baggage. That's such a good point, ladies. I think we don't have as much respect for real relationships because we think they're just like laying around everywhere. And then when you really start looking and if you are in a relationship and you start talking to your single friends, you're just kind of like, man, I'm glad I'm not dealing with that. And you appreciate what you have so much more. And what Gillis says here, even as a normal woman, it's hard to find that one. And then when you're bringing all that baggage, she had all that baggage and wanted to come to the front of the line and say, yes, I'd like a high value man, please. Wrap it up for me. And he was like, lady, who are you? KS says with body count, women will never admit it. These women are not keeping track and they will the lowest number. Y'all are laughing. Try Guy says lazy across the board. Kevin talked about lazy daters, and I remember the live stream where he had women role playing, trying to flirt. I remember that too. They couldn't even do that. It was so hard to watch. Drake, drop your handkerchief, ladies. We have lost that. Kevin said that in this stream today. Ladies, you got to practice that. You got to practice smiling. You got to practice your feminine gestures, holding that gaze. I could, do that, or I could, there's different things that you could do. Put some effort into it. And here's the thing. Men don't appreciate it when they see you putting all that effort into other things, the dance moves, the lyrics, these shows that y'all watch. Then when it comes to the man that you really want, you're too lazy or too tired. What would you say, Lucy?
Yeah, they look at the effort that it takes for you to get these fake nails, these fake eyelashes, these fake everything, and then you aren't able to flirt like a delicate woman or just throw those signals. All it takes is just one smile and a look for a man to say, "Oh, I'm in." So again, women no longer do that because what, they're either on Instagram, they're not looking, and then the ones that do, they are so forward that it's disgusting to men. I have seen some videos about women talking to high value young men, and they say the foulest, most vile things on the first meeting that they have. So again, you know, we need to get back and be the delicate, effeminate, beautiful women, that feminine, beautiful women that we are, and learn how to just smile and look at the guy that you're interested in. That's all it takes, is just a look and a gesture, and and then he will take the chance to come and talk to you. And please be gentle when you reject a man, because it takes so much for them to come over. I mean, quite honestly, it's a very, seeing it as man, I can't imagine heading to a woman and making that first um, move, and then to be completely, just shredded by a woman that is not gentle and doesn't know how to say, "I am so sorry. I'm waiting for my husband. I'm waiting for my date." The nice way. So again, ladies, if you're going to turn down any kind of um, gesture from a man that comes to you that wants to meet you, please do it gently. Men have hearts, and they are, it's not right to do them wrong, to treat them like they don't have their little hearts, because they do. And when they love hard. And when they want you, and when they give you everything, they give you everything. When you have the right one, they will build you the world.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. I love that. It's so true. And ladies, as a boy mom, I mean, just as a feminine woman, that is one of our qualities, is that we have that empathy and that we care and we don't want to be harsh and masculine. I will just say this, heed the warning, ladies. My man will tell you, you don't get away with anything. If you put that out there, it will come back to you. I promise you. And nobody will know, but something tells me, the women that were making sport of turning men down, laughing in front of their girlfriends, shaming, all of that. I believe it comes around when now they want someone to pay attention to them, and everybody's like, oh, well. And you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. That's one thing that, I am very, very not happy that I'm divorced, but we sat down and we had a conversation, and you can exit with grace, and you can still, like I said, we co-parent well. You can still treat people well, even if the information that you have to give them is not what they want to hear. So, what does Kila say? Someone who married 30 years older and they're happy. It's definitely doable, especially later in life. Yes, and we don't want to do anything. All of that effort put into the wrong things that give zero returns. I saw that in here about all these love songs. And y'all know I can bust out a lyric, but I make sure I let my man know how much he's loved. Mm-hmm. Oh, looking for the work husband. All right, Lucy, we'll let you close out on this one.
He says that at his job, he worked with women that they were so explicit, especially about their intimate escapades. That is so foul. That is just vile. I mean, a feminine woman will never, ever share that kind of information with anybody. In fact, we're very quiet, very private about that stuff because, again, the only people that need to know about your private things is your husband or your significant other, nobody else.
Yes, ladies, maintain a little bit of mystery. I'll give you a free little tip that actually draws people to you because they want to get to know more. But when you are loud and brash and masculine and talking about what you did over the weekend and how many and in what order and all of that, you have immediately put yourself in that category because what goes around comes around. All right. Well, this was fun. A little tough one today, but again, I encourage you all to watch this episode. It's only about 20 minutes. And this is a young woman, 29, but she's in the danger zone. And she thinks, okay, I'm ready now. I'll go grab that high value man. And Kevin really let her know that she was out of her league, but ladies, if you listen to it, it can be good news for you because if you recognize some things about yourself, you can stop fishing in the wrong pool and really open up your options. All right. Because as we get older, men know that they're not our first, and you don't want to be anybody else's second, and they don't want to be your second choice. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we don't do that. Oh, thank you, UFO Kamikaze. All right, Lucy, any words to close us out?
This was a really interesting 20-minute short that gave us a lot of insight on um, some of the things that we're seeing in the older modern women over 30 years old. I mean, she's 29. For me, she has about 5 years that she could get a good man, but does she really want a good man? And that's where she needs to put the effort and the commitment to do that.
Oh, thank you so much, Next Level. He says, thank you, ladies, for keeping Kevin Samuel's legacy and message alive. That
Yes.
warms my heart more than you know. The Wives Club is here for you every week. It's usually on Friday nights. But thank you all for being with us tonight. We will see you next week. Kevin Samuels changed my life. Like I said, I booked a session with him because I wanted to give back. And you all know Lucy was a moderator, is a moderator. Ain't that right, Luke Hazley? And so we will always be here once a week to remind ourselves because we learned from this too. Even though he's gone, his message lives on. So we're going to go ahead and dismiss, and we will see you all next week for another episode of the Wives Club. It is Good Friday next week, but we will be here if you all would like to join us. All right. Until then, goodbye.
Adios.
Adios.